All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to break down one of the most critical events in all of Scrum, sprint planning. We're going to get into how the very best teams use this single event to turn total chaos into crystal clarity and, most importantly, deliver real value.
You know, it's the fundamental question, isn't it? What separates a team that's just spinning its wheels from one that consistently delivers? It almost always comes down to one meeting, and that meeting is sprint planning. It's the bridge that takes you from a messy backlog of ideas to a focused, actionable plan.
So, what is it really? At its heart, sprint planning is all about creating a shared plan. It's that one moment where the entire team, and I mean everyone, gets completely aligned on a single goal. It makes sure everybody walks out of that room starting the sprint with the same purpose.
To make this happen, the Scrum Guide tells us that Scrum planning has to answer 3 key questions. We're going to start with the first one, and honestly, the most important one, the why. This is all about setting the destination for our journey. Before anyone talks about a single task or a feature or a line of code, the team has to answer this one simple question. Why is this sprint valuable? This question grounds everything, absolutely everything that follows, in a real purpose. It's the foundation for any great plan. And this is where the magic really happens. Look, the product owner comes in with the business priorities and suggests a goal. But then it's the entire team that jumps in to shape it, to refine it, to make sure it's something they can actually achieve and, something that gets them excited. The product owner leads the conversation, but it's a total team effort. I love this because it just hits the nail on the head. The sprint goal isn't just a nice-to-have. It's the team's North Star. For the rest of the sprint, every single decision can be checked against one question. Does this get us closer to our North Star? If the answer is no, you don't do it. Simple as that. Okay, so now we know why we're taking this trip. We have our destination. Now we've got to figure out what to pack. So let's move on to that second crucial question, the what. This is where we select the actual work to get us to our goal. The question seems pretty straightforward. What can be done this sprint? But here's the crucial part. Pay attention to who answers this. It's not the product owner. It's not the Scrum Master. This is owned 100% by the developers, the folks who are actually going to do the work. So, how do they figure it out? Well, they make a forecast, and they base it on real data, not wishful thinking. They look at their past performance, their capacity for this specific sprint, any risks they see, and their quality standard, the definition of done. This is why we always say the team pulls work in. It's never, ever pushed on them. That autonomy is everything. Now listen up, because this right here is a game changer. This is what separates people who really get Scrum from those who don't. The team's commitment, it's to the goal, not to a specific list of tasks. The tasks are just the plan, and plans can change. The goal is what matters.
So, we've got our why, our destination. We've got our what, the stuff we're bringing with us. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, mapping out the actual route. Let's talk about question 3, the how.
This is where the rubber meets the road. How are we actually going to get this work done? This is the part where we turn that list of items into a concrete, actionable plan that we can start on, tomorrow.
So, the developers put on their architect hats. They design the technical approach. They take those bigger items and slice them up into small, manageable tasks. Ideally, things that can be done in a day or less. This keeps the work flowing. The key is to have a plan that's detailed enough to get started, but flexible enough to change as we learn more.
And you want to know the immediate payoff? It's this. By talking about the how right at the beginning, the team makes sure the plan is actually possible before a single line of code is written. That transparency saves a ton of headaches and rework later on. It's a huge time saver.
Okay, so we've answered the why, the what, and the how. We've done the work. What do we actually have to show for it when we walk out of the room? Let's get really clear on the results of a great planning session and who's responsible for what.
When you walk out of sprint planning, you absolutely must have these 3 things, no exceptions. 1, a clear, unified sprint goal. 2, a sprint backlog, which is both the list of items and the plan to get them done. And 3, a shared understanding across the whole team of what success actually looks like.
And this table just lays it all out nice and simple. The product owner is our value champion. They bring the priorities and propose the goal. The Scrum Master is the coach, the facilitator, making sure the event stays focused and productive. And the developers, they own the plan. They are the ones who decide what they can do and exactly how they're going to do it.
All right, now for my favorite part. You want to sound like you really truly get this stuff, maybe in a job interview or just when you're talking with your team. I'm going to give you a few power phrases that show you're thinking at an expert level.
First up, this one is huge. When you say this, you're showing you understand that the goal is the mission. The backlog is just the current strategy to get there, a strategy that can and probably should adapt along the way.
Oh, I love this one. It perfectly captures the spirit of collaboration and respect. It shows you understand the unique responsibilities of each role. The product owner points the way, the team figures out how fast they can go, and together, they actually deliver the goods.
Saying this shows you get one of the core ideas in Agile, empiricism. It's a fancy word that just means we learn as we go. The sprint backlog isn't carved in stone, it's a living, breathing plan that should get smarter as the team gets smarter.
And this last one, this is the mic drop. This is the ultimate mindset shift. We are not in the business of perfectly predicting the future. We are in the business of creating a solid plan that is built from the ground up to adapt to reality. That's what agility is all about.
So if you had to boil this entire thing down to just one sentence, one core takeaway, this is it. Great sprint planning is about getting everyone on the same page about value, picking the right work, and making a real plan to hit a meaningful goal.
So, I'll leave you with this one thought to take back to your team. After your next planning session, ask yourselves, did we just create a rigid contract that's probably going to break the second it meets reality? Or did we build a compass, something that will guide us to our goal no matter what surprises we find along the way?